Then there is this guy called Randall Bosman. When I'm like a few glasses down, like I'm already feeling a bit tipsy, he asked us like a sort of a simple algorithm question. And then it turns out, out of all those people, because there's a standing table, the networking events. There was my program was working because he asked us to write the algorithm.
Do you have your laptop with
in
you?
A napkin? It was in a napkin.
Okay.
So only mine was working. So that's how I got my first interview at Microsoft. Yeah.
Yes. Welcome once again at Africastalking Podcasts in collaboration with Impact Masters Podcasts. Coming to you live and direct from coast region of Kenya, Mombasa. Mombasa is one of the cities amongst the 5 or 6 cities in Kenya, and it's a good place to be anytime, any day. So Africastalking provides you developer APIs, that is SMS, USSD, data bundles, airtime. Africastalking powers businesses across Africa, building communication solutions. Think of marketing, OTP solutions, call centers. Check out africastalking.com. Impact Masters, we are highlighting impact movers and shakers in tech across Africa. But as Impact Masters, we provide tech solutions, entertainment, and with a keen eye to see what solutions do we build at scale while empowering other businesses that are building tech solutions across Africa. I'm your host, Michael Kimathi. Call me MK anytime. And today we have an amazing guest, the man himself, the epitome, the guy who knows how to find his way out of tech. I've known this chief for quite some time now, about a few years, since 2017, that's 6 years or 7 years. He has gone ahead and built a portfolio for himself, working for Andela, for those who are old enough to remember Andela, moving to Microsoft, and proceeding to build something at Netlify, but we'll cover all that journey. So I consider him a mover and a shaker, and today we share his story here, live and direct. His name is Japheth Obala. Japheth, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. I've been looking for you for a while now to do this.
I guess the moving part is true for the movers and shakers.
Shaking not.
Just the moving.
Yeah, you've been moving a lot, and you're so swift at it. But the interesting thing is that your story is quite something. But even before we get to the tech part, because I knew you from the tech back in 2017. Which year were you then?
How old do you mean? How old was I?
When we met, or you had just dropped off university?
Yeah, it's 2016.
2016, yeah.
2016, yeah.
So you're still in school, or you just dropped off?
When we met, I'd dropped out already.
Yeah, you can hear this is a guy when Mark or Elon or Bill Gates say, I dropped out of Harvard.
Yeah.
He also has some that kind of story. But where did it all start? Where did Japheth Obala start? Where were you born? Be as specific as possible.
Right. Born and raised in Mombasa.
Mm-hmm. Which part?
Likoni.
Yeah. Oh, you're from Likoni?
I'm from Likoni.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Looks like Likoni produces the best. Yeah, even yesterday we had a conversation with someone from Likoni.
Yeah.
doing some amazing hardware stuff. I know you know the guy. Yeah,
Dennis Okangi? Yeah, I know Dennis.
Yeah, amazing stuff. And before that, I think, there are a couple of guys also from Likoni doing some amazing stuff. Yeah, so you're born from Likoni.
Yeah. So, born and raised, essentially lived my whole life in Likoni. And then I went to primary school there.
Which one is this?
It's a school called Donalinda Academy.
You are not the public one, right?
Fortunately, I went to a private school.
Okay.
And then I went to high school in Alidina Visram.
Wait a minute, Kaka.
Yeah.
When I converse, I like painting a picture of like that journey, because you see, right now we might see Japheth, who is a senior software engineer, but for guys who are starting up, even for the guys in the industry, it's good to know that the reason why this person thinks this with, the reason why they move swiftly is because of this journey. And this actually I borrowed from how our billionaires and millionaires tell their story. They just run through and we're like, where did you get your breakthrough? When did you decide to become a business Mongol? Or when did you build this? So we have like a couple of hours to do this. So don't rush through.
All right.
Yes. So primary school, you go there for nursery or you went for kindergarten?
Standard 1 to class 8.
So nursery went somewhere else?
Yeah, nursery I went to a school called Consolata Primary School.
Still in Likoni? Or?
Yeah.
Nice.
So when I say Likoni, like a very specific part called Mtongo, which is closer to the Kenya Navy base, which will be important later in the story.
And it's well off actually. It's like much better than the main Likoni, right? No?
Not exactly. Not exactly. Yeah. So that's where I was for 8 years. I think I lived my best life in primary school.
Okay. What was best about it?
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just that I remember being very happy in primary school.
Yeah. Are you this kid who was cheeky, playful, or just, reserved and just trying to get the best grades out of it? Always number one,
A little bit of both, actually. I'm by nature very cheeky, actually. Like I have a lot of dad jokes. And I was also involved in a bit of sports. I had good relationships with teachers and friends. Yeah. So I was generally very happy in primary school.
Which sport in
football.
Football.
In Kenya, there is only one sport, really, if you ask me.
I talk to people who play hockey, and they try to teach me what is hockey.
Well, there is football and then there is other things.
So sport by default is football. Okay. Guys from Rift Valley might disagree. Like sport first is running, and then anything else. But even football, you run, right?
Yeah.
So you had a good relationship with your teachers.
Oh yeah, very very much so. I was not really a teacher's pet, but like there is this one teacher who was very close to. It's called Mr. Riga, and what happened is I used to go to his house every time after classes to do maths.
Oh, really?
Like for free, without tuition, without paying any tuition.
But it was tuition, without tuition fee.
Yeah, without tuition fee.
Why in particular you?
I don't know. I think what I remember is there was folks in the upper class who are going to his home for tuitioning.
Oh, okay.
And then I just joined them. I said, okay, let me go and see what's happening. And then after those guys left, they were in class 8. When they left, I started going. I was in class 7 at that time.
Okay.
So I started going myself, and then I just kept going afterwards.
So he found you self-driven.
Yeah.
And it was impressive to him.
And he also had tea every time I went there, so that helped.
So there was a motivation to go there.
Yeah.
For you. But did the teacher know that actually one of the things that keeps you coming back is the tea?
Well, I wasn't going there for the tea. I was going there for the math, really. And then the tea was another advantage. So we're still very good friends. I was actually at his place earlier this year. So
just paying a visit and just checking on him.
I visited him a number of times, spent a night at his place, met his wife and kids.
Oh.
So we have a very good relationship.
So that means it means a lot to you even after.
Yes, in fact, most people in primary school thought he was my father because we were very close. But
what did your father think?
Well, I lost my father when I was 10 years old, so he had passed on by that time. So he did,
yeah.
But my mother wasn't complaining, so she was happy with that.
So it is very interesting. Did you go there because you felt like you needed some extra, tuition on math, or you just wanted to grasp the concepts beyond just the class?
Well, to be honest, I don't remember exactly why I started going. But maybe it's just the influence of the other folks who are going there, really. But as a consequence, I became very good at math from visiting it.
Yeah. And that really impressed you. You loved math for that.
Yes, I did. I'm still a math nerd up to this point.
Oh, nice. Is there any other subject of interest beyond math?
I'll say philosophy.
Philosophy?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm not surprised why you're a software engineer. Yeah, because the math rationale and philosophical way of how people perceive things, that's a good combination.
Yeah, although I must add that I only picked up philosophy like a year ago, accidentally actually. I tell this story to everyone who cares to ask.
Yeah.
So
why in particular philosophy?
Yeah, so I was going shopping with my wife when I was in London, and then I came across a Philosophy Now magazine on aesthetics, and it's the first time I read something that I felt like the author was trying to convince me in the way of thinking, because what the journal is a bunch of experts, each one giving their own interpretation of the subject matter. And I found myself saying, I agree with that author and disagree with this other person. So that was so mind-blowing, having the same thing covered by different people.
Yeah.
And then that's where I became very, very fascinated with philosophy.
Yeah.
And I've just been in a rabbit hole since then, never come out.
Yeah, philosophy is great, man. First time actually I'm having a philosophical conversation with someone geared towards engineering, and some of the software engineering courses like in KU, they also offered the way you get communication and HIV/AIDS, those extra courses that are not directly related to your course, but they offered philosophy course. I thought I would get that where I went to the university, but unfortunately they didn't offer it. But on the side, actually, I've been an avid, reader and researcher of philosophy, because I understand if you build something, you're built for someone else beside you. So you have to understand how people perceive things, how people make decisions, how people see things and consume things. But anyway, we'll get deeper into that as we converse.
I can just say something what philosophy has been for me. It's been like having a pair of glasses. I've gotten to see things in a new perspective and sort of appreciate things more than I think. Initially I was very indifferent to situations or to things, and now I have a deeper understanding or a deeper appreciation of stuff.
Oh, interesting. And okay, I'll ask this Swahili la Kizushi later, now that you've said that, but if I remember that, I need to ask it, or if the conversation leads there. So after you finish class 8, how did you perform, man? Because if going to the high school you mentioned earlier on is not an easy peasy thing.
Yes. Well, I didn't perform as good as expected I would perform, but it was not that bad. So I did well though. Not as good as I would have wanted.
What did you want? 500 out of 500?
We just say we thank God for whatever we get. So, and then I was called to Alidina Visram. The only thing I knew about Alidina at that time was that the former Index 1 in our primary school went there.
You must have performed really well. Though you are a bit, humbling. and modest with the results. But you, guys, if you're the next one went to Aldina, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. So
you also like you associated that with like success of the secondary school.
Well, Aldina is a good school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was happy to go there. But I would say compared to my experience with secondary school to primary school, I was way happier in primary school than in secondary school.
Why? Why is that?
I think in secondary school, with the onset of adolescence and not having guidance, let me say.
Yeah,
that.
someone
Like, not having a male figure at that time, because my father had passed away like when I was way earlier.
Yeah.
So I was mostly very confused.
What do I do?
Yeah. And not knowing any better.
Was it? Is it mixed school?
No, it's a boys only.
Boys.
It's a boys only.
Then it must have been very difficult for you.
Yeah, and it's a day school as well. So I used to cross the ferry every day for 4 years.
What?
Twice every day for 4 years.
Yeah.
So
because now Aldina is in the Mombasa mainland and you're coming from Likoni.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was quite interesting. A fun fact, actually, I never got an A in high school in maths. The only A I got was in KCSE.
So here there's no tuition, there's no extra tuition, there's no one as friendly, no one to guide you. Did they have a counseling department?
Well, I was not a counseling case. I was just like distracted, let me put it that way. Like I was not focusing on my studies. I was just like a radarless ship, let me put it that way. So I think the maths teacher told me, okay, you're not going to get an A in KCSE. So I only got it to spite him. And then after the KCSE, I went to his office and told yes, I got an A. So I can be petty, but yeah.
That's what you did, literally.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And what did he say?
He said, he would say, you got an A. Like, there's nothing else he could say.
Yeah. So math has always been, you are the subject that you're so confident that you can figure it out even for yourself.
Yeah, like I've even done some self-studying after campus. Yeah, I've studied linear algebra and calculus.
And performed really well.
This is just self-study. There isn't an assessment, just to like get a better appreciation of the concepts. Because you see, mathematics it's like a language. Like it essentially describes things, right? Like calculus describes the rates of change, stuff like that. So just to get a better appreciation of what the formulas really mean. Yeah. So I've done that as well.
It's an impressive way of putting it for a guy who just got an A and went to his high school to tell him, he told me I'll fail in my math, but here is an A. Yeah, it's easy. It's really, you make it sound really easy and it's good. And breaking it down to parts that actually make sense to any person.
Yeah.
So what was your secret, man? Like, what's the secret with math specifically?
I've no secret really. It's more of like a natural disposition, like say, a natural inclination towards something. Like you just find some things easier or more attractive.
Yeah.
Sort of like a pulling to something rather than having a secret recipe to share, really. So for anyone who is not good at math, I'm sorry, I don't have any advice.
Keep struggling. Continue struggling. Yeah. What do you struggle with? Is it Swahili, English?
In terms of academically?
Or what did you used to struggle with? Like you it wasn't that interesting.
I think. Well, I've not had a lot of struggles, but I think the thing that I've strived the most to be good at is, I would say, communication. Yeah.
You're not like a guy who will always start a conversation and follow through.
For things that, like, once I get interested in something, I can be really chatty about it. But if I'm not interested, you'll probably find me very boring. Like, I'll just sit there and listen.
A monologue.
Yeah. And maybe like ask questions to appear polite, not to but yeah.
Interesting.
So like learning to make the other person feel like they're being listened to. So that's it's not like the communication where I'm the one speaking. It's more of like the listening part and helping the other person feel more listened to. Because sometimes I tend to like want, or when we talk, sometimes I'll leave the conversation feeling like I've said things I shouldn't have said, or rather feeling like I should have given the other person a big opportunity to speak. So that's been the parts that I struggle with.
Yeah. So you overanalyze after communicating?
Oh yeah, like I have to go and think about what I say. I try to be.
It must be hard.
Yeah, I try to not say too much. I try not to say too much. I'm going to try to do that in this podcast, but it's unlikely. Because this is like
this is your story, and the more people actually understand. Because I feel, man, you have done a lot of things that actually even maybe you never thought they were possible. You just said, okay, let me do it, let me try it, and they happen. And you can imagine how many guys, not only in Likoni, but across the world, or even across Africa, who are in that position where you were maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah, sure.
So basically, this is just to highlight, the authentic story. That's why we don't prepare so much in these conversations. So feel free. But I hear you, because even me, sometimes I overanalyze after every conversation, and it's so hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like, maybe I hurt someone by giving some useless example.
Yeah.
Or maybe I thought guys need low-level examples to really, process things. Like maybe I could have given this crazy scientific use case.
Yeah.
But I also feel like I would left a lot of. So there's no right way to like package what you say, and then I find I can totally relate with that of analyzing after and I've seen a couple of guys who really go through that. I think it's not your fault. It's the way it is. Like, and math makes it easier because math mostly are facts. Like if 0 is 0, 1 is 1. So it's easier to relate to that. So in high school, you said you struggled with adolescents because there was no one to look up to. Did you date? Did you find, someone to, express yourself and try to see if they will understand you from the opposite gender?
So maybe I should correct something. It's not like I was struggling with adolescence. It's just that being an adolescent and not having guidance, like where to direct my energy.
Yeah.
So it was very, like I was very distracted, like trying different things, not drugs, like.
Now that you've not said drugs, now I'm thinking about drugs. Eh?
So like going to PlayStation, overindulging in that. So regarding dating, I dated in my Form 4, which is like the worst time to get into a relationship.
And now that you said communication was hard, now I see the other part of like, how do I even express myself? How do I present me as Obala? And will they even understand why I'm presenting myself these days? So that also, was it a challenge for you? You might get butterflies.
I've never been the nervous type.
Oh, you're the guy who just, this is it. Oh, nice. Then it's not like you can't communicate because you choose not to.
No, see, like I said, the communication part that I struggle with is like making the other person, like listening to the other person and not overshadowing the conversation. So I don't have the problem with expressing myself. The problem is actually I might over-express myself.
Oh, I see. I hear you. Languages, English, Swahili was...
English and Swahili,
No, I mean, like, did you perform well?
Yeah, I did fairly good,
Yeah, okay. So, you do your KCSE and you pass really well.
Yeah.
Do you get an A? Or?
No, I didn't get an A, unfortunately.
B+?
Yeah, there's somewhere there.
B plain?
No, I got a B+.
B+, yeah. And then you get invited to the university. Which university did you apply
I was actually called to Garissa University.
So you could be a guy who is already gone. Is that time or
I remember telling you this story.
No.
So yeah, when the Garissa University attack happened, that was my cohort. I was supposed to be in that cohort.
What?
Yeah.
So you're the chosen one.
Well, I wouldn't say that way. I've just been lucky.
Yeah. No, there's no luck in the world, man. Like, you're where you are because, I don't know if you believe in God, but because God wants you to be there. Yeah. Oh, for those who don't know, there was a terrorist attack in Garissa University. We might be saying this assuming everyone knows, but there was some Garissa terrorists at Garissa University where I think a couple of students, 142 students lost their life. And Japheth was supposed to be in that cohort. But what happened? Like, did you choose not to go there or choose another university? How did it go?
Well, once I got the calling letter and I showed it to my mother said, "You're not going to Garissa."
Yeah.
Yeah, because, Garissa has always been unstable in terms of the Al-Shabaab and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up being in TUM.
So did you go there and change through job or did you apply?
No, I did self-sponsored.
In TUM?
In TUM, yeah. Okay. I was self-sponsored in TUM.
So that's how you happened to be in TUM?
That's how I happened to be in TUM.
Which course were you called to do in Garissa?
Business management.
Jesus Christ. And in TUM you applied for computer science?
So before I applied for computer science, for that waiting period after high school.
The gap year.
Yeah, I didn't really have a gap year because
you guys were so we used to have to gap
so
years. Yeah.
During that period of time, when I left high school, I wanted to do architecture. But then I don't remember what exactly happened, but something happened. But
are you a good artist in terms of drawing and? Or you used to think you're good? Also when you're growing up.
It's because I did technical drawing in high school. Yeah,
as a subject.
Drawing and design. We call it drawing and design. So I did drawing and design for 4 years. So I was fairly okay.
Wait a minute. I've heard about Aldina. Which subject are offered there? Because it's also private, right?
No, it's public. It's a government. Yeah, it's a government school.
And they do design and drawing.
Drawing and design, yeah. So drawing and design is not artistic impression like drawing. It's a technical drawing. So, for example, say this microphone. The technical drawings before it's produced. Right? Yeah. So, we'll do that.
Oh, nice. Which other subjects were offered there?
So,
because I've never heard that.
Literature, the Swahili, English. It was compulsory to do all the sciences, geography, religion.
No French, no German.
No, I mean in Mombasa you want to do French. English is already a problem. French will be far-fetched. So I think that's as much as I remember.
Were you examined on it through KCSE?
Yeah.
And you really passed?
Yeah, I did well.
So that's why you even consider now with the math, of course, with technical drawing, that could be a good combination. So you applied for that at TUM or?
No. So when I left high school, I was going to do architecture. That's what I
had selected?
Yeah. No, that's what I said I was going to do. Regardless of whether it comes or not.
Okay.
Although I found a means of doing it. But then when I was waiting, I don't remember. I might have watched a movie and I thought it was really nice to be coding. And then I searched the internet and then I came across computer science. So that's what I said I wanted to do instead.
Yeah.
So by the time I'm going to TUM, I went there and asked to do computer science. But then they didn't have computer science. They had,
by then?
Yeah, they had mathematics and computer science.
Yeah.
So, okay, even better.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, so I enrolled in that.
Yeah. Was it an easy process?
Yeah, it was fairly easy. Especially because of self-sponsored. So, I am bringing in more money. There wasn't a lot of objections.
Yeah. Because also private university actually got a big boost from self-sponsor until private universities happen a lot. And some of the colleges were chartered to be universities, and then, they became a bit cheaper there, and all that. And self-sponsored is not as great as it was back then, because also they use that money to pay more, visiting lecturers in case maybe there are a couple of specialized lecturers teaching some other university. So it's very interesting.